You talked a lot these last few weeks about the tunnel vision you've always sort of had to have. How do you think you're going to channel that energy in the next phase of your life? Thank you.
Um, well, obviously, I read Meg Lennon's piece that just came out this morning, and it kind of talks about just that sheer tunnel vision and that focus that I've had to have to get to this point. And I don't think that there's many that understand what it actually takes. It's a lot. I just said the other day at training, it's very tiring to continue to prove people wrong. And it's nice knowing that for 17 years, I've just been on that mission to be the best that I possibly can be. But it's also amazing to have not only the focus that I had throughout my career, but to then have this different emotion that I can actually enjoy the stadiums, the fans, see the posters, see the jerseys, just be in the moment. I've had the best of both worlds, and I can't look back and say, I wish I did this or I wish I focused a bit more. Sure, there were times where maybe my focus was too intense, but I gave it all I had, and I think that's what's really special walking away from this, is knowing that I did give it all I have. And this next phase of mine, I think is going to be no different. I'm going to find something that I'm passionate about and do it to the best of my ability. Want to eventually start a family with my husband and want to be the best mom and strive to be the best wife that I possibly can. And it's just going to be a little different. I'm not going to be feeling the pressure of having to perform in World Cup and Olympics, but I got to do that, and now I'll just shift gears into something different.
Thank you.
Thanks. I also get the feeling Carli may become a scratch golfer, but I don't. We'll see. Let's go to Jerry Zagoda from Pioneer Press. Go ahead, Jerry.
Hey, Carli, thanks for your time. You've said you've tried to play every game these last 17 years like it's your last. How do you think you'll be tomorrow night when it actually is?
I think emotions are going to flow, obviously. I've sort of been this player where I haven't let my mind go to feeling tired or feeling burned out or wanting to hang up my boots. And I'm at this stage, I'm at this point in my career, and I don't think any athlete ever thinks of the retirement word until it's actually near. And I'm going to let the emotions flow the way they're going to flow. I think I've been iced out Carli for so long, and people have always seen that. People haven't seen the different side of me. But I'm going to savor it. I'm going to savor every moment, and I think it's going to be truly special for one last time to give it everything I have for this team, for the crest, for the country, for the fans, and I'm going to soak it all in, that's for sure. No tunnel vision tomorrow night. I'm going to soak every last possible minute out of it and enjoy it.
How are the Stones? Did you meet Mick, and do you have any second thoughts of Mick continuing up like they are into their 80s?
Well, that's the thing. I think throughout my career, I've just wanted to be the best soccer player that I could be. I've often missed out on going to do things for fun. I'm not missing out on anything now, and I was really happy that I decided to go see the Rolling Stones live. They were unbelievable. They sort of make me feel like I should keep playing. Mick running down the stage at the age of 78 and performing the way that he did was pretty incredible. They were unbelievable. I know that it wasn't really my era growing up watching them, but unbelievable bucket list to cross off to be able to see them perform.
Did you get to meet him?
Yes, Alex, Megan, and I got to meet him. It was really cool. Definitely one of my top favorite moments.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jerry. Let's go to Steve Goff. Go ahead, Steve.
Hey, Carly, thanks for your time, as always. What do you have memories of your first camp and your first cap? And what at that point did you think would lie ahead for you?
I remember getting called in 2004 from a under 21 camp that I had been part of. There were a couple of us that got to go in and train with the national team. They were just actually, setting the roster for Sydney in the '04 Olympics. And so to kind of get thrown into one of the most intense camps right before a roster is being selected was a pretty big wake-up call. I remember playing 5v5, which are often bloodbaths with this team. And, Bryce Scurry was on my team. I believe I was playing, with Mia at one point and just all these players. And the standard was just so high, the demand. I remember Bry screaming at me to get back. Those were my days where I didn't really defend and I wasn't a two-way midfielder. So defending really wasn't in my repertoire at that moment. But I remember, Mia being so specific with where she actually wanted the ball played to her feet. It was an eye-opener. At that point I knew I had a long way to go and this was the best of the best. And it's a weird thing, you put all your chips in, you take a risk, you do all this for the unknown. You do all this not knowing how many years you're going to have with this team, not knowing if you're going to make World Cup teams, Olympic teams. It's pretty crazy, as I'm sort of dwindling down the hours here. I guess for some small percentage, I'm starting to reflect and take things in, but everything that just kind of keeps coming to my mind is just how hard this environment is. You all see the first 10 minutes of a training session the day before a game. You watch us play 90-minute games once, twice a month. But you don't see everything that goes into this behind the scenes, having to be at your ultimate best every single day, having to evolve under different coaches, in different positions, in different eras of the game. It is so, so hard to be here. And we all have had different journeys, different stories, but I think what makes people great on this team, what makes great athletes great in their respective sports is how hard their journey is. And you have to really just embrace it and be able to persevere through anything that's thrown your way. So yeah, it's crazy. Growing up watching the '99 World Cup team, having posters signed by them at a Jefferson Cup tournament, and now retiring just like those that came before me did. And it's pretty surreal.
Great. Thanks, Carly. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Thanks, Steve. Let's go to Steph Yang. Where are you, Steph? I lost you. All right, go ahead.
Thanks, Aaron. Carly, I was talking to Yael Averbush a few days ago and joking with her that, do you think Carly's going to poke her head in preseason next year and be like, I know I'm retired, but can I train with you guys here? And she laughed about it, but there is, something where a lot of athletes talk about that period afterwards immediately is a tough adjustment for you. Do you think there's any truth to that where you might be like, I've got the itch, maybe I'll head over and just see what's going on, bop around, touch a ball, maybe? Or do you think you really are going to find something and, as you said, pour your focus into that instead?
Yeah, I think it's a transition that I'm about to find out. I've spoken to, a number of different players, Heather Mitz, Hope, Heather O'Reilly, Allie Wagner, on sort of the transition, and there is life after soccer. They've all told me that, and it just looks different. I think, the game of soccer is such a beautiful game that I've been playing for 34 years, and I don't think that love and that passion will just go away as soon as I hang up my boots playing. I think there'll be other things to fill. I don't think anything can ever fill what this journey has been all about, and that's okay. And so I don't know that I'll be checking in at preseason, getting my boots on necessarily, but I can't leave the game, altogether. This is a goodbye on the field, but this is not a goodbye for me in the soccer world. I want to continue to help grow the game. I want to continue to, just form relationships and figure out how I can play a role in helping, because I really believe that I can help, and I can continue to share my wisdom. I really enjoy the people side of things. I enjoy sort of talking to people about what it takes to get here and how hard it is, and what you have to sacrifice and what you have to do. And I don't know what that role will be, but I'd love to stay involved. I think what's really special is sort of this last hurrah with Gotham FC. Yael and Scott and the coaching staff, and just all of the staff that we have in place now is on the right track. And so I'm really excited about that. I wish that all of this came maybe a year or two prior, or I had another year or two left to play. But yeah, I want to try to help in any way I can, and I don't know what that will be, but we'll have to wait and see.
Maybe the team could come help with that deer on your lawn issue.
That would be great.
I'm just gonna guess, but she'll probably be MVP of the Rutgers alumni game. I don't know. That's just my guess. Let's go to Jonathan Tannenwald. Go ahead.
Thanks, Aaron, and thanks as always, Carli, for the time. Your teammates have been offering a lot of tributes over the last few days. Some I know in person, some on these Zoom calls that we've been on. And Becky Sauerbund said, she's shown up in some of the biggest games that women's soccer has to offer, and we go long in those tournaments. And a big reason is because we have players like Carli Lloyd. And when you hear something like that from somebody you played with for a long time, won a lot of trophies with over the years, what does it mean to you?
It's special. I know that I've probably been misunderstood throughout the years by teammates, coaches, fans, and just about everybody. But I've just tried to give my most authentic self, truthful, honest, raw. I've given everything I have to this team day in and day out, every time. Every email I get notifying me that I'm getting invited into the next camp has always been the same feeling I've gotten even up until this last camp where I knew I was coming in, but that feeling has just never gone away with me. It is an honor, it is a privilege, it is just an amazing feeling to be part of this team. And I couldn't have done this without all of the teammates, former teammates, current teammates. This is a team sport. This takes 11 players on the field. It takes players on the bench. It takes players coming in for a camp or two. Everyone has pushed me. I've pushed them, and I'm super thankful for that. And I think towards the end of my career, I think people have a greater understanding of what I'm about, why I've been the way that I've been, and that I've just wanted to help this team win championships, and I've wanted to just be the best player that I possibly can be every single day. And those big moments, those moments where everything's on the line, where we're 3-4 games into a major tournament, that's where I love to show up. And I'm going to miss those moments. Those moments are the greatest moments ever. I've had 4 World Cups, 4 Olympics, won some, lost some, but those moments are just the best moments to be able to perform on and play on. And I'm thankful for every single one of my teammates. I'm going to miss them dearly, and I'm going to be the biggest fan cheering them on for this next cycle.
And one more quickie about the concert last night. What was it watching? How was it watching? Not just watching the Rolling Stones, but doing it in the building where the Eagles won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it was a great stadium. I love that stadium. I remember playing there in 2016, I believe. It's a great place to be. I'm thankful to be ending my career here in Minnesota. I've said it before, although it's not in New Jersey and not in Philadelphia, Minnesota is great. The stadium that we're going to be playing in is amazing, and I've had a lot of memories. Being able to go watch the Rolling Stones live in person is pretty special. So it was a great evening.
Thanks so much.
Thanks. Speaking of Minnesota, let's go to local TV. Ren Clayton, go ahead, Ren.
Hi, thanks, Carly, for joining us. When you look back on kind of the impact that you've had on young soccer fans, what does that make you think, and how do you reflect upon that?
I think it's important. I think that, I was a player who grew up with not many live female role models. There wasn't social media. And I think that I've prided myself in just being a good human being on and off the field. I've tried to go about my career doing all the right things. Wasn't always perfect at times. I failed, I messed up. I did things that I maybe could have done better, but it wasn't for lack of trying. And hopefully my story can help inspire several generations to come to know that ultimately it's up to you. It's up to the individual, how far you want to take your career, how far you want to go in life. And it just takes so much work to get there. So, it's great. It's great to be in this position. I know when I do my clinics across the country, there's loads of kids coming up to me and they just stare at you and they just have this look in their face like they're meeting some iconic figure. And for me, I just treat myself as just normal Carli Lloyd, but to them, I'm a hero in their eyes. And for me, that is just everything. It's a priceless thing. And saying one, 2 words to them like "good job" really has life-changing effects on all of those girls and boys. And it's truly something very special.
Thanks.
Awesome. Only time left for a couple more for Carli. Let's go back to Andy Grader. Go ahead, Andy.
Carli, thanks for taking the time. I know that you, in your comments previously, have given a shout out to the origins of the women's national team in Minnesota. What do you know about that history? Have you talked to Michelle Akers or anyone that was in those first games now 35 years ago?
Yeah, I haven't, but it's sort of a very iconic, sentimental thing, to be kind of wrapping up my career here, where it all began for this team. And I've tried to represent the crest the way that they started it, those players before me, the players who started the culture within this team. And it was something that I had to learn over time. It was something that I didn't have as a younger player, but when I came onto this team, I had to fight and claw my way to the top. And all you could do was put your head down and work hard every single day. And, I know this team has sort of been through a lot in the last couple of years. We've got to find that way back to what that culture was about from the start of this team. And hopefully we can do that. I have great confidence in the squad and the coaching staff and everything, but that's what it's been about. And we can never lose sight of that because it's made this team so dominant for so many years. And the game's getting harder and harder. Teams are catching up to us each and every year, which is what we want. But yeah, it's for a number of different reasons to be able to end my career here. It's pretty special.
All right, let's see. Let's go to, we only have a couple left. Time for a couple left. Let's go to Bruce Beck. Go ahead, Bruce.
Carli, what a ride. Congrats. During these last few days, these last few weeks, these last few hours, have you had a chance to think about the journey in terms of who's impacted your success along the way?
Yeah, I've done quite a bit of reflecting, still reflecting. I think so many people. It's hard to just name a few because everybody that I've been coached by, every player that I've played with, they've all played a role. They've all, big, small, U.S. Soccer, NWSL, WPS, support staff here with U.S. Soccer. So many people have helped along the way, and I'm incredibly thankful for that. I think that if there's one person in my life who was pretty close to living this life that I've lived, is my husband, Brian. I've had a lot of reflection, I guess, about that, because there's just a sheer amount of things that you give up on a daily basis. 17 years of time that we could have probably spent a lot more together. When he's been kind of reading some of the articles and seeing some of the things, what he said to me is, he's like, I feel like I could have felt, your pain all through this, and how hard it was of a journey, because it's been so hard. But so hard and so rewarding at the same time. So yeah, he's played a massive role in helping. I wouldn't be where I'm at today without his support. I think it takes a special someone, as we all have our significant others. It takes a special someone to support the life that we have, because it is extremely far off from being normal. But yeah, I'm incredibly thankful for coaches, 5 coaches I've had here, club coaches, club coaches growing up. Again, they may not have liked me. I may not have loved them every step of the way, but they're part of the journey, and they've made me into the player that I am today.
Awesome, Carli. All right, last one goes to Jeff Kassouf. Go ahead, Jeff.
Hey, Carli. Wondering what the maybe friend and family contingent looks like for tomorrow for you, and you were just talking about your husband there. Of if you've thought about what the moment might mean to have some of those folks, whoever they might be, in attendance. Given what you've talked about, they've maybe missed some games or major events at times, and to have that now, what you think that might be like for you.
Yeah, it's special. I've got my mom, dad here, my sister, my 4-year-old niece, my 4-week-old niece, the 2-year-old niece, and my brother-in-law unfortunately stayed home. My brother's here, his wife, Brian, a friend of ours, Brian's mom, sister, aunt, and then I've got, some other family members and friends who are coming as well. So I think kind of, around 28 people or so that are coming out, which is really special. Over the course of my career, I've obviously, haven't had my family in my life for a majority of that, and we've missed out on so many things together as a family, and it's been, hard. Something that I sacrificed for a good portion of my career for 12 years. But since this last chapter has begun in 2020 and on, they haven't missed a single thing, which is really special. And I don't know that I would be as happy as I am having them by my side back in my life. Everything just feels like it's come full circle. And I know when I play this game, it's going to be really hard to hold back the tears. It's going to be hard to get on the mic after the game. But I'm just going to embrace it, and I'm going to know that they're here by my side. Having them here, being able to close out my career is going to be one of the best things that's ever probably happened to me. And just knowing I can walk away at peace and content is really, really special.